Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Pranav. I'm the acting Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. As our assigned Sergeant at Arms was unable to show up on time. Before we move on to the proceedings, I would like to request you to keep your microphone mute at all time except when you are speaking, and also switch off your mobile phone or turn it on to a silent mode. And it would be appreciated as long as you can keep on the camera on as much as possible. Now, to take it further, let me invite our acting president of today's meeting, Toastmaster Ranjit Ramachandran.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. I would like to call this meeting number 319 of KEEN4 Toastmasters Club to order. Firstly, I welcome our fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. It is indeed my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to the KEEN4 Toastmasters Club meeting. As acting president, I would like to recognize the guests that we have here today. We've got 4 guests, I believe. We've got 3 as of now, right? Yeah, we've got 3 guests as of now, of which 2 guests would indeed become Toastmasters by the end of our session today. And the 3rd guest is Toastmaster Vibhish, who has graciously agreed to take up a role of evaluator for a project speech for this session. Unfortunately, our speaker didn't show up, but thank you once again for joining us, and thank you all for attending our meeting today. Toastmasters International is an organization that grew out from a single club that was founded by Ralph C. Smedley on 22nd October 1924 at YMCA in Santa Ana, California. It initially originated as a set of classes with the aim of improving communication for young men. The first chapter was formed, or the international chapter was formed in 1934 in Canada. And it was about 49 years later, that's in 1973, that the organization started admitting women. Currently, Toastmasters International serves over 364,000 members in 145 countries through its 16,200 member clubs. As each and every one of us joins Toastmaster, as we have 2 new members who are going to be inducted into Toastmasters, the question that we are often asked when we join is, what do you want to gain out of Toastmasters? Or what is it that you want to achieve by joining Toastmasters? The answer, whatever it may be, is your vision. Is the target that you want to achieve, is this where you want to be in the future? In order to enable you in achieving that target, Toastmasters International provides a platform wherein you have got pathways. Depending upon your target, depending upon your vision, you get to choose a pathway. And that pathway is going to be your mission for the remainder of the Toastmaster term. Your present is to go through each one of those projects that's included in that pathway. And as you complete, you would be aligned in your strategy on achieving your vision or what you wanted to achieve out of Toastmasters. But often what we see is that there are a lot of distinguished Toastmasters. You have seen one of our distinguished Toastmasters in our own club, our club sponsor. There are a lot of distinguished Toastmasters who, even once they have attained distinguished Toastmasters, continue to do these projects, continue to have a new pathways. The reason for that is because no matter how good a communicator or how good a leader you are, there is still a possibility of improvement. There is still a way that you can be a better version of yourself by taking up these projects. So, as the first female president for Toastmasters International, as Helen Blanchard said, if you get out of Toastmasters all there is to get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. With that, Let me welcome you all to our session today. We currently have just one project speech, so there is a change in agenda. We have just one project speech. The evaluator is already available, and I don't think there are any other changes to the agenda. Would you like to propose a motion for accepting the changed agenda?
I'll propose.
Okay, Bala is seconded. All right, thank you. Now, let me start this meeting by calling on the master of ceremony, the captain of our ship today, an engineer from College of Engineering, Trivandrum, working as an information systems advisor for Telecommunication Regulatory Authority of Bahrain. He's got a passion for entrepreneurship and is motivated by politics, debates, speeches, and leadership. I'm sure you've all guessed who this person is. Let me welcome Toastmaster Bala Subramaniam to take over as the TMOD for the meeting today.
Thank you. Thank you, Acting President, for that magnanimous words and the great definition. I just wanted to say a very beautiful, humid evening to each and every one of us, to all my Toastmaster friends, guests, everyone, a very warm good evening.
Good evening.
Before we start, just a small disclaimer. I had a small surgical medical condition in the evening, so I might have problems sitting and standing, and there might be some hindrances in my voice. So I just wanted to apologize in advance. I thought because I had already committed to Ranjit on being the TMOD, so I just want to consume and make sure that we are sailing through. All right. I think it was way back, probably much ages ago, when a great person stated, no matter how hard the past is, you can always begin again. And this was stated by none other than Gautam Buddha during those ages where enlightenment was the key. And as we speak today, the entire world, not just us, the whole world, we are looking forward, or we are rather in the stepping stones towards a bright new year that is going to come to us probably within a quarter's time. And most importantly, the entire world is probably reverberating one thing, and just one thing. We want to get out of COVID, move back to what was the norm, get ourselves back into what we used to enjoy on a day-to-day basis. But, and that but is the question, how quick, how practical, how effective are we gonna get back to where we were 2.5 years ago? And with that as a title, I would like to state the upcoming future as a brand new beginning, not just for us, but for the entire human beings as a race, Homo sapiens as a race. We are at a stage where we are somehow, in some way, shape, or form, fighting. At the same time, with grieving on the losses that we have had, plus enjoying the moments that we have as of today, still looking forward. And that, Toastmasters, is the attitude as well as the fundamental quality that has made us as a species as the numero uno of all the life that is available in the planet Earth. Toastmasters. With that stated, getting back I think I'll probably take a few minutes to explain very, very quickly a story that used to happen in the past. I believe I have stated this before in our previous meetings, but I guess it is very, very, very important even in this meeting. We used to have a very old person living in our street. I mean, we used to have these row houses. We still have it. It's like one wall for two houses. So it's like every house and the next house shares a common wall. And we used to have a very old man. By probably in my teens, when I was in my teens, he was probably 60 something. And the the important fact is he is a, how do you call, a bellboy. Like in the temple, he used to go at night, in the mornings, and he used to play the bell. There is a big bell that people can ring, and his job was he used to go to this temple and he used to ring the bells. And one of the things most elder people, when we used to play around during those times, they used to say, if you don't study well, that's where you're going to end up. You will be a bellboy. And this continued. And he was quietly listening to all of us. And he was taking all those harsh comments with a smile, without much of a hassle. And literally no one in the vicinity told or probably even bothered to ask what he was or what his qualifications were. But he was there every day, evening and morning. He used to come to the temple. He used to play the bells. And one fine day, that's when we heard that he is no more. And he passed away. He was an aged person. Even when I was in my teens, he was aged. And then we all had that feeling that the next day when we went back to the temple, he was not there to do to ring the bells. And one of us, as part of the duties, we started ringing the bell and everything was just normal. And that's when we realized, like, one of his friends who used to be in the temple, he said he was a retired teacher. He was a retired teacher, and the students that he taught, one of the students was the then IAS officer in Trivandrum. And that was really an eye opener, that you don't really need to be at the top of whatever you are, but the sheer moment or the sheer impact you can have on anyone is basically to give them that much of positivity, that much of realistic approach, and that much of care. And the rest is just, it just happens. You don't have to really worry about what will happen. The reason why it is important to me personally, and I believe it is important to each and every one of us, especially in these times, especially with Corona, we have seen that quite a lot of our own friends, our own family members, our own relatives are reaching scenarios where there are losses, where there are areas that they are losing out on life also. So I think what is most important to all of us, which is basically my theme for today, it is, let us hope that the upcoming time is going to be a brand new beginning. And as Socrates stated, the secret to change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. So with that, let us hope that today, as we speak, we will proceed with the Toastmasters meetings. And to take me through the meeting, I have a set of officers who will help me with all the individual proceedings to start with. And let me just introduce our counter for today, which will be Toastmaster Linu, a planning engineer working with MCSE, passed out from College of Engineering, and our current VPPR. So may I request everyone to give a good round of applause to Toastmaster Linu to take us through the details of our counter.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Fellow Toastmasters, a very warm good evening to you all. Today, my role as accounter is to note any overused words or words may be inappropriate in interjunctions, such as and, well, but, so, as you know, or maybe filler words like or etc. When asked by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting session, I will be presenting my report for the general improvement of the speakers. Back to Toastmaster for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Linu. Thank you for the clear elaboration of the counter. And for those members and for those guests, each and every role is presented basically by an officer who explains the details of the role, the nuances of the role, the intricacies of the role, so that as a group, we get to understand how the entire proceeding happens and how things get evaluated as we move. So this is one of the key items of being in Toastmasters. To take us through on the subsequent items, we have the grammarian for today, and our grammarian today is Toastmaster Surendran, who is the manager of the lighting division at Ahmed Baid Electrical WLL, who is he's from NSS Engineering College, Palakkad. So let's give him a good round of applause to explain the details of the grammarian and also introduce the word of the day.
Thank you, Toast. Sorry, I think I'm getting disconnected with few seconds. Am I audible? Is it okay?
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. In between, maybe I'll be disconnected. I don't know what is the reason. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Yes. Today, my role is that of a grammarian. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility to take close attention to each one of the speakers, listening carefully to their language use. I will take a note of improper as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, thoughts, etc. As a grammarian, my second role is to introduce the word of the day. Today I have selected a word. I think it's already shared in the screen, right? Yeah. The word of the day is regnant. Regnant is basically an adjective. Regnant means dominant, having the chief power, or another meaning is
We can't hear you.
I think we lost you in between, Surendran.
Yeah. Everyone seems to be having issues with network today.
It looks like
exactly.
it's a general. Yeah, proceed. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So the word of the day is regnant. It's basically an adjective meaning having the chief power or dominant. The second one of common or widespread occurrence. Examples, other synonyms like predominant, sovereign, supreme, like that. Examples of usage. She was a regnant queen of this era. Okay, that's one of the usage. I recommend all the speakers to use the word of the day as much as possible. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Surendran, for explaining the details of the role as well as introducing the word of the day. Let's all hope to use the word as much as possible during our discussions and let's hope to make him feel comfortable at the end of the meeting so that we can get to know the fallacies that we might have had during the meeting. As we proceed, we have a very interesting role, which was a newly added role into the club, which is the Toastmasters Club. It was something which was introduced by our VPE, and kudos to him today. Being the president as well as being the VPE, he is the listener for the meeting. Let us all give a good round of applause to VPE Ranjit Ramachandran, and we would like to hear from him quickly as to what the details of the role are and what would be the interest of having such a role. Toastmaster Ranjit.
Thank you for those kind words, Toastmaster of the Day, Bala. My role today as a listener is to listen keenly to any interaction that we may have today. It could be impromptu speech, it could be a project speech, it could be even an evaluation. So whatever interaction we have, I listen keenly to it and note down any interesting tidbits that I can find from there. Towards the end of the meeting, when I'm called for by the GE, I'll be randomly asking these questions, and you can evaluate for yourself if you have been paying attention or not. And if you're not able to answer, then you basically understand that you need to pay more attention. That's pretty much it. Over to you, Tiamodi.
Thank you very much, Ranjit. I think all of us are looking forward to be attentive at the same time, as well as being reactive, which is one of the key points of the listener's role. It's not just being attentive, but it's also being reactive. So that's going to be a really very interesting part of it by the end. The most important, or rather one of the most important roles within the Toastmasters is that of timer. So may I please ask Toastmaster Pranav, who is a sales engineer at SRA Supply Consultants, a person who loves football, our current secretary. He has been taking all roles as and when required. So sometimes he's secretary, sometimes he's in, sometimes he's out. He's like the master of all. Let's give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Pranav to explain the role of the timer and the proceedings, please.
Thank you, the Master of the Day. Actually, I was secretary the last time. I'm the VP membership this year. Just mentioning it since you get close. As the Master of the Day mentioned, timer role is one of the most important roles the club officers can bear in one of the meeting. And as a timer, my responsibility is to keep an eye out on the timing throughout the meeting's proceedings. Now, under the educational session, we have only one speech today, which is timed for 4 to 6 minutes duration. So at 4th minute, as a timing device, my virtual background will be changing the colors from green, yellow to red. So at 4th minute, it will be changed to green as a first indication of the timing. And at 5th minute, it will be changed to amber or yellow. And at 6th minute, it will be turned on to red. For table topics section, we have, as a general consensus, the timing allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. So the changing of the virtual background will be in such a way that at 1st minute, green will be coming on, and at 1 minute 30 seconds, it will be changed to yellow, and at 2nd minute, it will be changed to red. We will be having one evaluation for the prepared speech, which is having an allotted time of 2 to 3 minutes. So the virtual background will be changing at an interval of 30 seconds again, but it will be starting at 2nd minute as first indication of green, 2 minutes 30 seconds yellow, and at 3rd minute it will be turned to red. Whenever the red virtual background is turned on, it will be kept on remaining till the speaker finishes his speech. And each speaker has a grace period of 30 seconds, which means if a speaker is speaking for a duration 30 seconds less than the minimum time or 30 seconds more than the maximum allotted time, then he will be disqualified. And before moving on, one short comment as well. Whoever is having a timed speech, I would recommend to support the timer or pin the timer to be precise on Zoom or IT technology, so that you will not be finding difficult to see where you are on the timing. Because last time we had some issues with being virtual background being changing. Some members was unable to see whether it is changing or whether they have crossed the time. So if they can pin the timer and then start the speeches, this problem can be managed to an extent. I think that's pretty much summarizes my role. Over to the master of the day.
Thank you very much, Pranav, and I apologize for the confusion. By the time I read it, I realized that okay, I read it in the wrong order, so I apologize. Our current review membership is probably one of the most active Toastmasters, and today especially is probably the most happiest on the group. So yes, thank you very much. To take us through, to continue with the meeting, we have the general evaluator, which is no one other than Toastmaster Rajendran Ambadut sir. I mean, I just don't know how better to introduce. I consider him as a very, very, very senior Toastmaster, a mechanical engineer by profession, currently working with Mohammed Jalal and Science Technology as consulting engineer, past president of KEEN4 and MJS Toastmasters Club, past Area 30 director. We call him the walking encyclopedia, and there is nothing that you can ask and not have an answer, especially from Rajendran sir. And I think it is a pleasure to have you here, sir. And let us give a good round of applause and introduce Toastmaster Rajendran sir to tell us more about the general evaluator role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Bala, and good evening, all Toastmasters. And thank you, specifically Bala, for those profuse eulogies, I must confess. So Toastmasters, you all know, for any event or activity, be it a project or even meetings or any activity like that, measurement of performance is very important. In order to know where you stand, how you can improve. So we have this role of general evaluation, whereby I'll be keeping a watch on all the activities going on in this ecosystem. With respect to, of course, all the independent individual roles, of course, I'll be assisted by all these people like a grammarian, timer, counter, etc., and including the speech evaluators who will be assisting me with the specific evaluations. So overall, I'll be giving a evaluation, points for improvement. I wouldn't say criticism, but a feedback, a good feedback, positive feedbacks. At the same time, also, what are our weak points wherein we can improve. So that's what in short. So in short, we can say general evaluation is a very regnant role. Back to that.
Thank you, Rajendran sir, for that clear, clarified approach. And I guess the best usage of the word of the day, regnant. I think it comes from a person who understands the context and to use the word together, regnant. That's just perfect. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Now we go into the very interesting part of the Toastmasters session, which is the educational session. With education and membership, we do this first and then do the induction, or we, okay. And the education session is probably one of the main reasons why Toastmasters as a club has improved so heavily, because this is that point which gives everyone in Toastmasters the arena to speak their heart out and have positive critical reviews come back, whereby improvising the ability of public speaking. And today, to specifically with regards to the speeches, we have only one prepared speech, which will be by our Toastmaster GBLX. But before that, let me take a moment to introduce the evaluator, Toastmaster Steffi Sampson, who is basically an architect working in RP construction and a very powerful speaker. Recently, she joined us, and very explicitly we realized that she is obviously the wife of Terrific Terrell, who is one of the finest of speakers. So we are expecting her also to be on those lines in power. So let's give a good round of applause to Toastmaster to tell us more clearly about the topic, as well as.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, my role is to evaluate the project 1 in level 1, that is the icebreaker speech of Toastmaster GBLX. The purpose of the project is to introduce himself to the club and to understand the basic structure of the public speech. And I would be evaluating his speech and mainly focusing on the delivery style. And while called upon by the general evaluator, I would be giving my evaluation report. So over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Steffi, for that clear elaboration. I do have this habit. By the time I complete a sentence, I might lose out on the name, so I apologize. It will take me some time to get used to it, so please bear with me on that. The speaker, the next prepared speech, which is Sleepless Nights by Toastmaster GBLX, a very senior Toastmaster who is a field engineer in BAPCO, and we have seen his humorous speeches, and he has taken the club to multiple levels. So let's all give a big round of applause to Toastmaster GBLX for his speech titled Sleepless Nights.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. Today, I will be giving my icebreaker speech, which is a chance for me to introduce myself. I'm a person made up from my past experience, and I am here today because I am hopeful that this particular experience will make me a better person tomorrow. Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, a warm good evening.
Good
My
evening.
Alex from God's own country, born as a middle child of Mr. Alexander Chaco and Achama. That was the sleepless night for them. My hometown Kumaragam has contributed more to sustain God's own country, his name, and it's also a dream destination for many people, many famous personalities, and also normal people all around the world. The middle child means a child who should always compromise to receive all the second-hand belongings from the Cardinal person. In my case, he was Jilu Alex. But my younger brother, Michael Alex, always escaped from this because the third-hand items will not be in a good condition and cannot be used for anymore. I spent my yearly schooling at St. John's LP School, Kumaragam, up to upper primary. The school was very near to my home, and my father was a teacher in that school. All the teachers are from that area, and our headmaster used to bring his cow also while coming to school. Sure, not to provide education, but utilize the grasses and the rice soup from the school. Our Malayalam teacher used to teach English when she will be off for the maternity leave, and that was more frequent in that time. That's the reason I joined Toastmaster. I moved to St. Peter's High School, Kurumbanadam, and St. Berkman's High School for higher schooling. That was one of my best days in my life. I was in case of my maternal grandparents, and I enjoyed to the fullest, even though I have a sleepless night during first day without my parents' presence. Due to my great physique, believe me, I'm not joking, I have a better body with a flat belly and 6 feet height. I was selected in sports and was a school champion and won many prizes in district level, which in turn made my grades going down, which made my parents to rethink about my stay at my grandfather's home. They shifted me to one of my aunt's house. We call her Amma. She did not have children. She was spending full time with me to get good marks in pedigree. This was to fulfill her promise to my father. She was a retired professor and she maintained the same strictness at home also. I was only allowed to study, and as an extracurricular activity, I was allowed to go to church, catechism. Everything else was no access zone. This situation made me some days sleepless night also. That was a turning point in my life, and with Amma's guidance, I got good marks in +2, and I got admission in SB College, which was a dream college for boys in Changanasheri. Even though it was men's college, we had a great visuals from the nearby women's college, Assumption, which made our dry life more exciting. But Amma was always updated about me with her spy, who was our neighbor and a professor in our college. After my pedigree days, as a trench, I joined Royal Mechanical Branch in Anjuman Engineering College, Butker. There also, I had a great guardian, my uncle, Father Michael Katagaya, which forced me to restrict my freedom. The first day in the hotel makes so difficult, and in turn, again, sleepless night to me. After my engineering, as usual, I moved to Bombay for a job. I got a job in Petron Engineering Construction Company, and I have worked many plants in India, including Ambuja Cements, Jamnagar Refinery, ISRO Second Launch Pad, etc. Once we started to search for a girl to marry, I regretted about my love life. After a long struggle, I think I had tea and snacks from a number of houses across Kerala. But at last, I got married to my wife, Livin, whose house happened to be very near place, Ichimanur, and her uncle was a very good friend of my father. After I had my first son, Alvin, I moved to Oman and started to work with Gulfar. It was the starting of my Gulf career. I really experienced desert life, which till then I was only to hear about it. Finally, I reached this small island in search of treasure. This small island, Bahrain, had given me a lot of things, including career growth, wealth, friends, and even it became the birthplace of my daughter, Donna Maria. I was employed with MCSE for almost 14 years, and this company contributed a lot in my career growth. As the years passed, I joined Barco, and now I am continuing with them. I stay with my family in Jardab. I'm standing here to tell this icebreaker again, a sleepless night yesterday, only because of our club sponsor, Wilson K. Lasser. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster GBLX, sir. I don't think it can be any more pregnant, isn't it? The sheer power is just unbelievable. Let's give a big round of applause to our speaker, Toastmaster GBLX. And to move on, we have one of the most, how do you say? We have one of the most beautiful part of being in Toastmasters, which is being impromptus. And to take us through on that, we have a very vibrant Toastmaster Deepak, who is a planning engineer and is a product of Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, currently working with MCSE. Let's give a good round of applause to Toastmaster Deepak in taking us through the table topics for today.
Good evening, Toastmaster Day and fellow Toastmasters. Today, as the table topic master, I will be giving an option to the other speakers to have an impromptu speech. It will help you to improve your vocabulary and your speaking skills. So, shall I begin?
Yes, yes.
My first question to what's attendees. Who is not having a role? Almost all are.
We have guests today.
Yeah. I'll start with Avion. Yeah. If you want, which is the most exciting role in Toastmasters that you would like to take and why? Toastmaster Avion.
Table topics, topic master, and fellow Toastmasters. A warm good evening to all. Today, I had a new role. Listener, I think Ranjit is doing that role today. I don't know that our club is introduced or entire Toastmaster introduced that one, but for me, I can say that one because I was with the KEEN4 Toastmasters and have taken most of the roles. Compared with that one, I think that the role of the listener, that is more attractive for me. Because from the starting to end, the listener have to give his full attention, and we all are here to learn from others, the good usage, the good vocabulary and all. Based on that one, the role of, I feel that one, the role of the listener, that if the future also I would like to take that one. Back to the table topics.
Thank you, Avion. Now moving to the next topic. Which lesson in the life did you learn the hard way? I repeat, which lesson in the life did you learn the hard way? Mr. Jikko?
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, there are a lot many things I've learned the hard way. So one of the things I learned is wait for your turn and work hard and give all your best. This was my father always told me to have patience. I never had patience, and so he always used to tell me, your time will come, and just have to keep faith and keep moving forward. So I was always chasing one thing or the other. So I didn't had a, what do you say, a regnant attitude towards a goal, and I was always chasing different goals. So my father told me to stick to one thing and give your best. So that's one thing that I've learned the hard way, and I'm grateful that I learned it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jikko. Coming to the next topic. When you are 80 years old, what will matter to you the most? When you are 80 years old, what will matter to you the most? Mr. Kevin?
Good evening, everyone. That's a very interesting question. Actually, never thought about it. When I'm 80 years old, definitely I would like to be comfortable. I mean, it's hopefully I'll be retired by then, and maybe living, the second childhood. So I really hopefully, be settled somewhere nice, have a nice, place to basically relax. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kevin. Okay. Anyone else who is not having a role, I can ask question or. Okay, I have one more question. I can do you think crying is a sign of weakness or strength? Do you think crying is a sign of weakness or strength? Anybody? What about Toastmaster Surendran?
So I have a role for this meeting.
Okay. Any takers?
I guess I'll take this one.
Yeah, thank you, Vala. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, a very warm good evening. Table Topics is always interesting. You get a chance to speak your heart out. If I may repeat the question, is crying strength or weakness? The context defines the content. I have always been a big believer of this fact. Crying helps, and at times crying gives away those livid moments that you would want to keep for yourself. For example, when you lose something very valuable, something very important that you have had over quite a substantial amount of time, crying is a human being's nature to get yourself relieved of the pain and relinquish your body by giving away all those negativities associated with it, and to get yourself rejuvenated with regards to feelings, with regards to peace of mind, and with regards to a mental state. So on that note, crying is very, very, very important to us as species, as is, and it's something that we cannot avoid. But at the same time, the world, the way we have set up the world, I would like to bring in the point of context. The way we have set up the world, the content is like we have somehow made it look like or attributed it to a fact that crying makes a person weaker. But somehow I personally believe a person who can open up and be himself and at the same time express his feelings without having to hide and being regnant enough to be critical with regards to whatever has happened. And if that outflow of emotion needs to be released to everyone, I believe crying is a strength rather than a weakness. Back to Table Topics.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bala. That was a wonderful speech indeed. With that, we come to the end of the table topics. Thank you for all the participants, and I hand over the podium to Toastmaster today.
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master. It was a very vivid range of questions, very heavily taxed at the same time, quite to the point. So let's give a big round of applause to Table Topics Master and for all the impromptuness that we bring in the Toastmasters. Now, since we don't have any educational session, I believe, let me call upon the acting president to conduct any business sessions if need be. Acting president, Toastmaster Vijit.
Thank you, dear Modi. Good evening to our Toastmasters and guests. With that, we have completed our first segment of a Toastmasters meeting, which is the educational session. We have only had one project speech and we have had the impromptu speakers. Now, before we dive into the core business session, let us induct our new members. We have got three new members. Basically, it's two new members and one member who is joining back after a sabbatical, you could say, right? So wonderful. It's great to welcome you all on board. We've got Jiku, Abion, and Mr. Kevin joining us in Toastmasters today. Let me welcome our VP membership, Toastmaster Pranav Rajivan, to take over the proceedings of induction ceremony.
Thank you, Acting President and dear VP Education. Dear members and guests, which are in turn going to be the members of this club, a very good evening. It is indeed my pleasure and honor for the XCOM, as far as this XCOM is concerned, as we are reaching one of our first milestone towards the DCP goals, which is adding members. And in fact, this is our first induction ceremony of the new term. We have two enthusiastic new members who have come forward to join the club, and like the Mr. President has said, we have another enthusiastic member, past member, who has been on a sabbatical and who has made up his mind to join back to the Toastmasters program. So first of all, I express my sincere thanks for joining or taking a decision to be part of this wonderful organization and take your career further forward. Fellow Toastmasters, it is now our duty and privilege to induct these new members into KEEN4 Toastmasters Club. This is an important occasion, both for these new members and for our club. These individuals have come to Toastmasters seeking to improve their communication and leadership. And we now have an opportunity to help them learn, grow, and achieve. I'll now call our new members. They have been spotlighted so far, as you can see them. Please withhold your applause until the ceremony is completed. Ebion, Jiku, and Kevin, you are joining a worldwide organization that has helped more than 4 million people learn to communicate more effectively. As members of the KEEN4 Toastmasters Club, you will benefit from proven program of self-development. You will become part of an outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Mr. Vice President Education, Ranjit, have these new members been given an opportunity to discuss their needs and goals with the club?
The two new members, yes, we have had the discussion. Ebion, we have already had the discussion much earlier and is joining back with us again. So yes.
Have they been told how the Toastmasters program works and informed of the many benefits they will receive, as well as the obligation of membership?
Yes, they have been communicated.
Who have been assigned as mentors for these new members, if you would like to share it at the moment?
Sure. We have, for Toastmaster Kevin, we have assigned Deepak KP as the mentor. For Toastmaster Ebion, it's Toastmaster Binesh who is the mentor, and for our Mr. Jiku, it's going to be me, Toastmaster Ranjit, going to be the mentor.
Okay. So we do not have Toastmaster Binesh, who is a mentor for Deepak, present today as he is on a vacation. So Toastmaster Ranjit Ramachandran and Deepak KP. As experienced Toastmasters, this question is to you, to Mr. Deepak and Toastmaster Ranjit. As experienced Toastmasters, you have been asked to help these new members get off to a good start. You accept this responsibility and pledge to share your knowledge as well as the experience with our new members so that they can immediately begin to benefit from their Toastmasters membership.
I do.
Yes, I accept.
Thank you, mentors, Toastmaster Deepak as well as Toastmaster Ranjit. Again, Jiku, Kevin, and Ebio, membership in this club and in Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with many rewards. Yes, it also places certain obligations upon you, one must say. We are a group of people brought together to do things we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. This means you must work diligently toward your own self-development, evaluate others' speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, assist the club in reaching its goals, remain positive, and keep a smile on your face. We ask you, our new members, to dedicate yourself to personal growth, to share this great gift with your fellow members, and to help this Toastmasters Club strong and ever dynamic. Dear new members, please affirm your membership by repeating the following words after me. I, you can refer your name. I,
Karian.
I, Jiku, John.
in the presence of my fellow members,
In the presence of my fellow members
of the KEEN4 Toastmasters Club,
the KEEN4 Toastmasters,
make this firm obligation
Make this firm
obligation
to attend meetings regularly
to
attend meetings regularly
and prepare fully for each assignment,
prepare fully for
each
assignment,
to apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to apply myself to the
myself
projects
to the
outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
participate actively in club activities,
to participate
actively in club activities,
to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner,
evaluate others in a positive and constructive manner,
to build open, friendly relationship with my fellow members,
to build an open, friendly relationship with my fellow members,
and to bring other new members into the club,
and to bring other new members into the club,
so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
So they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
Would all club members please repeat your club's pledge to the new members? We, the Toastmasters of the KEEN4 Toastmasters Club,
Members of KEEN4 Toastmasters Club,
Pledge
to support you in your quest for self-development,
pledge to support you
in your quest for self-development,
to provide you with a positive, helpful evaluation,
to provide you with positive, helpful evaluation,
to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere,
to maintain
a
friendly, supportive atmosphere,
to give you opportunities to help others,
to give you opportunities to help others,
and to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience.
and to make your Toastmasters rewarding and
fulfilling experience.
Hello, members. With the authority bestowed upon me by the Toastmaster International and KEEN4 Toastmasters, I would like to officially announce our new members, Ebion Agustin, Jiku John, and Kevin C. Cherian. Let us give them a good round of applause for the new members of our new team. Welcome, guys. Once again, I thank you for making up your mind to be a part of this wonderful organization and getting to know about it and to try to have a personal growth from the Toastmasters International program. With that said, I would like to hand over my control back to our acting president, Toastmaster Ranjit Ramachandran.
Thank you, VP membership. Welcome, Toastmaster, Beyond Toastmaster Jiku, and Toastmaster Kevin. Instead of Mr. Now we can officially call you all Toastmasters again. So welcome to Toastmasters Club. We shall arrange a new member orientation meeting shortly, in which we will go through the whole proceedings, starting from how the Toastmaster International as an organization is set up, all the way until how you can access your pathways, what your projects are going to be, and what your specific deliverables are going to be. So we'll go through that path. And for the other members as well, if any of you would like to join the orientation meeting, if you would like to know more about our system setup and to go through our pathways program within the system again, please feel free to join. I'll send across the invite in our group once WhatsApp is back. With that, let's move on to the rest of business session. As I put on my next hat, which is of the VP Education, I would like to inform. Just a second. I'd like to inform you all about the upcoming club contest. We have our area contest coming up somewhere in the beginning of next year, somewhere in January. So we are planning to have our club contest in November. So we'll have a total of 4 contests, and this is for new members as well to understand. We have 4 contests. The first one would be international speech. So it would be a prepared speech for 5 to 7 minutes long. And minimum qualification for a member to participate in club contest for international speech is to have completed level 2 of the pathways, right? Other than that, all other contests, anyone can participate. There is no specific criteria in participation. So all members, even the guests, even the new members, are welcome to join in the club contest. For we've got a contest for evaluations. There'll be a contest for impromptu speech, and there will be a contest for humorous speech. So we'll have a total of 4 contests, club contests, and this would be conducted in 2 separate meetings in the month of November. The first meeting would probably be evaluation and humorous speech, and the last one would be impromptu and the international speech. So any member who'd like to participate, partake in this, please put up your start preparations for the contest firstly, and I'll send across a message asking for your participation details, and we'll take it up from that. That is it from my VP Education umbrella, or my VP Education hat. Let me call upon VP Membership. Pranav, do we have any new updates?
Mr. President, we will have to get the new members done with the mentor program, just like you mentioned, so that they can select which pathways they would like to proceed upon. So possibly we will have a chat within our ExCom and see how we can take it up further. That's it pretty much for now.
Thank you, VP Membership. We don't have a secretary today. She's still on vacation. And we have our treasurer, Toastmaster Bala, our Toastmaster of the day. How was our finance?
Thank you, President, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Again, a warm good evening. I guess we have had a pretty good year till now. So we have got clearances and we have got approvals from all the members. So we have renewed almost everyone, and we have a few more to go, which is pending my entry. So I guess I was also a bit packed over the week. But overall, our balances as well as our numbers look good. I haven't consolidated the numbers for today's meeting, unfortunately, because I had all these other roles. So I expect to provide you an update on the financial numbers as of close of September, which will be quarter 3, end of quarter 3, start of quarter 4. within a week's time. So look forward for my emails and also look forward for my messages. I'll be requesting everyone to start making the payments for the subsequent years. So thank you very much for all those who have already made the advance payments, much appreciated. And for those, thank you like always for all the help, all the cooperation, and thank you very much. Back to you, President.
Thank you, Treasurer, for keeping our finances stable and continuously following up with our mentors, our members, to get the payments done on time. And in fact, we have a good news. We did achieve our goal in terms of PQD, no, CGD goal, where we had to do our 70% of club membership renewals by the first week of September, and we have achieved that. So we're going to get a ribbon for that in DTech. So congratulations. Let's proceed to the next session. Let me just quickly go back to the agenda. I seem to have missed out. In the chat on the Zoom, I have shared PowerPoint, basically converted into PDF. This is a new member orientation guide. You guys can go through it. It'll be useful for our existing members as well, because this gives a clear guideline on every aspect of Toastmastering, including the pathway access and the whole thing. VP membership, I would advise that we add our new members to our club roster as soon as possible, so they get access into the Toastmaster International website and they start working on their projects and going through the Toastmaster International website and understanding how the base camp is set up. Once we get the access, we'll have the orientation program. I think that's it from my side in terms of officers report. With that, let me hand over back to the Toastmaster of the day, our treasurer, Toastmaster Bala. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President. I guess welcome to each and every new member, and welcome to all fans, all members beyond. Welcome back. We definitely missed you, and to new members, Kevin and Jiku, welcome on board. Toastmasters. So with that, let me take the privilege to call upon the general evaluator, Toastmaster Rajendra Nambadat sir, to take us through the criticalities of whatever happened and whatever that didn't happen in the current meeting. Let's give a good round of applause to Toastmaster Rajendra Nambadat sir. That's the general.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster of the day, Bala. Once again, good evening, Toastmasters. So let's get on with this pregnant role, that is general evaluation. Before I get into the meat of the subject, let's finish with the individual evaluation. So that you can, of course, there is no voting for the speaker, since there is only one speaker. Of course, for the table topic commentators, we can vote. So, timer, could you please inform me the timings taken for the main speech as well as the table topic?
General evaluator, prepared speaker, Toastmaster GB Alex took 6 minutes 29 seconds. And table topics, Toastmaster Abion took 1 minute 20 seconds. Toastmaster Jiku took 1 minute 4 seconds. Toastmaster Kevin took 33 seconds. And finally, Toastmaster Bala took 2 minutes 18 seconds. So all are within the limits, within the allotted time.
No, but I think lower limit is less 33 seconds. I don't think for table topics.
You have a 30 seconds grace period in either direction, right?
No, not for table topics.
Not for table
topics. There is no.
It's only there.
Table topics.
Yeah.
Table topics. Anyway, that's up to the Toastmaster of the day to decide whether we should.
Now, if it's a general consensus, I have been telling whenever I have a timer, I've been telling that 30 seconds grace period is there for either ways.
Okay.
Not there for Toastmasters. I think.
TMOD, either the TMOD or the acting president can decide.
I will leave it to the acting president to decide.
Yeah, do we include everyone in the voting? And since most of them are
it's a new members and
new members, so maybe we can.
Yeah, we can exclude that for the meeting today. Let's
so
go ahead and.
So who will arrange the voting? Mr. You will arrange for the voting, right? Of course, for the speaker, there is no voting. Now, I would like to request Toastmaster Steffi Sampson to give the evaluation for our speaker, Toastmaster. Just
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Good evening. A good speech is like a pencil. It has to have a point. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my speaker, Toastmaster GBLX. One main thing about Toastmaster GB's speech was that he made us all very nostalgic by taking us through his school days and all the funny incidents that used to happen there, which made us reflect on our own past days and the good times we had back in our school. And the next thing I would really like to point out is Toastmaster GB's the speech delivery, the gift and ability to crack jokes and make people laugh even using a flat tone. He didn't have to jump around or wave his hands to make us laugh. But the small, tiny, natural incidents that took place was enough to make the point. And 2-3 jokes that I really liked was about the being a middle child and how he has to use the old stuff of the elder sibling, or the principal bringing his cow to the school for the free grass and grazing. And main thing I liked is why he joined Toastmasters, because his Malayalam teacher was the one who took English for him. And I also liked how he used his title, Sleepless Nights, throughout the speech. It was connected to every segment of the speech, be it his school days, his college, or his engineering period, etc. And because his title was connected throughout, I feel this would be one topic that we would remember even once the meeting is over. Although I have 2 suggestions for him, which I feel like one is eye contact, because though it's a virtual meeting and we have a lot of limitations, I felt it would be better to have a steady eye contact. And the second was the movements. He was keeping on moving to and fro, which would be better to be controlled, I think, in the next upcoming speeches. So other than these 2, I don't think I have any other big suggestions to give. So thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Steffi, for that wonderful, exhaustive evaluation. Now, we will go ahead with the general aspects of our meeting. Well, to start with, we started 12 minutes late, which I don't know, maybe normal as per our normal thing, because this particular aspect, it has become a regular refrain, sort of. Anyway, we will keep on our promise that we will try to better improve on this punctuality aspect. Today, especially, we are waiting for a couple of roles, particularly the second speaker. So that's how anyway, we started 12 minutes late. And our acting president, Toastmaster Ranjit, started called, of course, Mrinal, the Sergeant at Arms, Mrinal was absent. So immediately Pranav took over and just introduced, he called the meeting, he introduced the president to call the meeting to order. The president took over, and it was interesting to listen to Toastmaster Ranjit in his presidential address, because there were quite a few things that at least some of us were not aware. Like when the first Toastmaster was, when the first lady Toastmaster was admitted to the, I didn't know, frankly, myself. And he also mentioned about the current president, who happens to be a female, Miss Helen Blanchard. So all those things where he also mentioned how many clubs and how many members and in how many countries it's operating. And he persuaded the Toastmaster, he inspired them to get into this flock. I can see one, oh, this is slowly, okay. Sorry, just on the
My
screen.
apologies. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
went.
So that was a slight distraction, and it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, I'll just get it. Okay, let me continue. Then after that agenda, there was adoption of the agenda was there, which was in order. The small change, only the absence of the speech and the change in the Sergeant at Arms that was registered, and it was adopted. The agenda was adopted, which was in line with the protocol. Then we had the usual interesting address by TMOD, Toastmaster of the Day, Bala. That was also very, very inspiring. He started, the theme was the new beginning, and he spoke at length. He spoke about, despite his slight indisposition, he made it a point to attend. And he mentioned about the COVID pandemic, which is a very contemporary aspect, how to get out of it, how we should sustain our positive state of mind in these trying times. And particularly his that small anecdote about that temple boy, that retired teacher who took the role of this one. It was very interesting. So on the whole, it was a very interesting. Please give a big hand to the Toastmaster of the Day. Of course, there are a couple of few more things which I'll come later. And the acting president, I must also commend his honesty, because in fact, he contacted me twice. Despite the absence of many people, he was able to put together a meeting of this type. In fact, to get a suitable general evaluator, he contacted me a few times, and I couldn't first. I had some problems. I refused, but later on, seeing his honesty, I couldn't refuse. I made it a point to attend it some or other. So that is a very good sign as a, not only as an acting president, as a VP education. And he was also persuading Toastmasters, aspiring Toastmasters, to join the club. Give him a big hand for the wonderful job he has done as in putting together this meeting. Then the Toastmaster of the Day introduced all his role players, which forms part of his team, which were the accounter. Accounter Linu Matthew, Toastmaster Linu Matthew, explained the role very well. Give him a big hand. I don't think he's there. He has left already. You know, Matthew? Anyway.
I'm here. I'm here.
You are there, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Then the grammarian. I wish the word of the day could have been shown, could have appeared on the screen, but I think there was some net problem. Otherwise, it could have been done. But anyway, he explained the word of the day, which was regnant, and we will see later how we used it after by the end of the session, so that he can cover most of the people. Then the, of course, listener role, we are coming to that. That I think will come in the end, the listener's role, right, Ranjit? We can do it afterwards. And the timer also. Timer, Pranav explained very well the timings. Only thing about the table topics, you have to get it correct. The minimum time, there is no grace period on the minus side as far as the table topic alone is concerned. All the other things, it was okay. Anyway, he explained, he took on the role very well. Kudos to Toastmaster Pranav for explaining the Toastmaster role. Then the speaker himself, of course, the speaker, evaluator Steffi has given a very exhaustive, very concrete evaluation about the speech. I agree with her. The speech was really good, specifically the humor part of it. In fact, I must say that this is the first time I've seen where a speaker has been able to relate the title of the speech up till the conclusion, and most every single paragraph of it, that is Sleepless Nights. So that's a good sign. And you have a very good potential as a humorous speaker, Toastmaster GB. Please commend him for the speech. Of course, compliments to our evaluator also, Toastmaster Jeffy. Please join me in commending her. Then we move on to the table topics. Yeah, table topics, I must say that Toastmaster Deepak did a good job, in the sense there was a feeling of freshness. I mean, it was not just the run-of-the-mill topics, like the most exciting Toastmaster role, the life lesson learned the hard way, what matters to an 80-year-old, then crying, is it a strength or weakness? All were good, interesting subjects. And the Toastmaster commentators also. I'm surprised that despite being tenderfoots, they commented very well. Except perhaps Kevin, I think he started off very well. I feel you could have spoken, at least you could have that extended your staying power, at least for a minute, because your starting was good. I'm sure you will be able to do better in the next this one. Of course, Jikku and Abhion were also good. Bala, of course, I don't want to comment. He being the senior, so he's no comparison to the others. But on the whole, it was an interesting session. So please join me in applauding this table topic session handlers, Toastmaster Deepak, as well as all the commentators for keeping the session very interesting. Then what else? After that, we move to the business session. Of course, business session, although the secretary was absent. Now, I would like to know, Toastmaster Ranjit, what is the current system on this minutes of reading or the minutes of the last meeting? Are we circulating it in the
No, so currently the minutes of meeting are not being documented, but we do have all meetings recorded. So the backup plan is that once the secretary comes back from vacation, she's going to create minutes of meeting for all the meetings that we have skipped in the meantime, and would be circulated once she's back. She will be back on 20th of this month. So next month we'll receive minutes of meeting for the last 2 months.
Okay, thank you. So let's follow, despite, moreover, because of this, this online meetings, slightly we had to compromise here and there. So that's okay. Then how about VPPR? Did you give his report? VPPR, who is?
Lino.
Lino did.
No, I think it was my part. I missed calling in the VPPR.
Okay. Otherwise, I think all other roles you covered. I'm glad you also mentioned about the upcoming contest, which was in order. So on the whole, except this couple of points, the business session went on well. Then the other interesting part was I understand this is the first induction of the new members, right? And I'm glad that we could induct three Toastmasters today. I would also take this opportunity to congratulate and welcome the new members. Of course, Abhiyan was there already, but still, after a long hiatus, is joining. Please welcome to them. I think the mentors were allotted, right, for these Toastmasters?
Yes.
Yeah, mentioned. I just missed that. Okay. So it was good that we could introduce, and also congratulations all the executive committee for getting this the ribbon. That was for that was overall this one, or induction of the members.
No, it was for renewal of membership on time.
Renewal of membership on time. Anyway, congratulations to the team as a whole. Yeah, then okay, that's it. Okay, now we will have the other reports. First, we will have the accounters report. Accounter was Linu, right? Toastmaster Linu, can we have a brief accounter report?
Good evening again, Toastmasters.
Yeah. We had a
very wonderful night, and I could not. Our few items which I could not was one from Toastmaster of the Day Bala, and Steffi used Toastmaster Steffi used one time, and in the table topic session, our new members Jiku and Kevin used it a few times. That's all from my side. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Linu. Give him a big hand for that short and crisp report. Next is our grammarian. May I invite Toastmaster Deepak to give his report on the grammarians.
Grammarian is Surendran, sir.
Oh, sorry, Surendran. Sorry, Surendran. Toastmaster Surendran.
Thank you, General Evaluator. For Toastmasters, the most distinguished guests, a warm good evening to you all. Today, my role, this grammarian's report is as follows. Today, I couldn't find much of the mistakes from any of the speakers. Very few which I could notice with our guest Kevin, now Toastmaster Kevin, just used the words like really hopefully, which I feel could not be used along. Others, I couldn't find any much mistakes on any of the speakers. I could find some good usages from Toastmaster Bala, like some of the words like relinquish, rejuvenate, etc. And something from many words from Toastmaster Rajendran, like disposition, persuading, aspiring Toastmasters, etc. And regarding the word of the day, it has been used by a few of the Toastmasters. Toastmaster Balat used it more than 3 times, and Toastmaster Rajendran used twice, and our guest Toastmaster Jikku used once. That's it. All of a whole, this is a very good meeting with less grammatical mistakes. And over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Give a big hand, Toastmaster Surendran. And just a small word of, maybe you can take it as a feedback. I agree it was a new word for me also, pregnant. But I have a small suggestion. Maybe you can keep it for future. Now. When we pick up words for the word of the day, no? If we can find a word that is an adjective as well as noun form and adverb also, it will be better. It will benefit the Toastmasters because they will be able to use it in the, probably that could be one reason why many people did not use it. And one thing was this word regnant, no? It is also, it's not a very popular word in popular parlance. I mean, it's also used as to refer to what is that? Suzerainty, the reign of this one, like Queen Regnant, no? They say Queen Regnant, the reign of a person. Of course, it has other meanings like predominant, widespread, and prevalent. But that's only, besides the main meaning is the other one. So just keep it in mind. No problem. We were able to learn, and to that extent, it is good. A new word. It's new for myself and many of us, perhaps. It was good. So maybe you can keep this in mind. And that screen, if you can show the word and some appropriate usages, it will help. Just a feedback, that's all. Then another point which I left out for during this induction was, induction Toastmaster Pranav, was it not possible to show that pledge on the screen? Because when everybody was reciting the pledge, we were not able to be very coherent and uniform. So probably if you had shown it on the screen, but I don't know whether you also had a internet problem. Probably that's one thing you can.
No, sir, we actually did not think about that, showing the pledge.
Oh.
We'll take it up for the next time.
Anyway, inductions are not, they are very few and far between. So it may not, but still you can keep it in mind. Okay. And another thing was, did you call for, you could have exhorted the new members to give a brief comment, possibly. This was an opportunity for them to talk. And that still, I can, maybe if we have time, no, we can, maybe we can do it also. If they wish to speak very briefly, how they felt, maybe little down the lane after the awards person during the, when just before the president is closing the remark, maybe if there is time, they can just briefly say that. So that's all regarding the structural aspects of the meeting. Then we have the last and final role, which should be very interesting. Again, a regnant role, I must say, which is the listener's report. So let me call upon Toastmaster Ranjit to do the role of the listener, which I am also looking forward to. Toastmaster Ranjit.
General Evaluator, thank you so much. Let me first. Right, so we are all here. The first question, it's open to all. I would rather not pick anyone in this. So who is the role player who our TM Modi mentioned has a passion for football? Should be an easy one.
Pranav?
Of
right? How many siblings does Toastmaster GBLX have?
Two.
Two or three? I thought three.
Two.
Right.
Which is correct.
Yeah, that's correct. 2 siblings. There were a total of 3 children.
Okay. Oh, that was.
Where did Toastmaster GBLX work outside India for the first time?
Oman.
on
Gulf or Oman.
Right. Okay. Who is the role player here who is motivated by politics, debate, speech, and leadership?
There is only one.
I don't know if it is politically correct to ask that question.
You didn't have to answer that question. It's already right.
Yeah,
You just leave it that open.
Okay, I know it was pretty simple. I wanted to make it simple because we were packed
it's
today
okay,
and
it's
we're all
okay.
having it. Yes.
That was a lighter vein.
Right. Yes. Right. So that's pretty much it from my part as a listener. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you. It was, although it was very brief, this is a very interesting part. Last time also I noticed when Wilson handled. So that was the first time I listened to that. Very interesting. Thank you. Please, Toastmaster Ranjit once again. So I think more or less we come to the. I think I have covered all the things. So on the whole, in short, in a brief summary, I would only like to say that despite the absence of many members and shortage of the last minute withdrawal of a speech, I think Toastmaster Ranjit was able to organize, of course, with the help of the Toastmaster of the day, and of course, all the role players. We were able to make this session quite interesting. So overall, let us all congratulate and compliment all the role players as well as the committee, who brought this to fruition. Thank you once again. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Now with that, I hand my charge back to the Toastmaster. Toastmaster Bala.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Rajendra Bharat. Let's give him a big round of applause for being so wonderfully critical and at the same time giving us points for us to ponder in our future meetings. And as we speak, we have reached to the final end or the final segment of the meeting. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being available and for your contribution towards this meeting. With this, let me give the podium back to the acting president, Toastmaster Ranjit Ramachandra. Back to you.
Thank you, Chair Modi. I know we've got 9 minutes to wind up the meeting. So firstly, I would like to thank each and every one of our members, role players today, for being here despite having a lot of other issues and other concerns. It was quite easy for us to skip a meeting and end up canceling a meeting, but that's definitely not something that KEEN4 Toastmasters would want to do moving forward. So thank you all for being here and taking up the roles and being proactive enough to keep us going. Welcome, new members. I would like to hear a few comments from our new members who have just been inducted, what they feel today and what their expectations are and how we can help you better. So let me start with Abhion.
Hey, once more, good evening, everyone. First time attending the online platform. Okay, I think that participation is less, members are less, but so it's okay. I think same impact is there. How we are doing earlier. And actually, I think last time why I quit that one because I got another role in another association. That's why I was a little busy. So anyway, that almost over that one. We are going to hand over. Anyway, last time I couldn't do the that much means speeches and all. And I can say that my presence was there, but I couldn't use that Toastmaster for my personal growth. That's why I just want to do that one. Anyway, I need everyone help and support. Yeah, thank especially to Ranjit to be behind me and bring me back to the Toastmasters. Thank you everyone.
Welcome once again, Ambion. And I'll be still behind you to make sure you do your projects.
Yeah.
So going alphabetically, let me call upon Kevin next.
Good evening once again. First of all, thank you for the warm welcome. I'm really excited to be part of Toastmasters. Okay, to be honest, I'm excited, also slightly nervous, as I'm out of my comfort zone. But yeah, but I'm hopefully able to change it. It's a journey just begun. Yes. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome once again. And this is the best place where you can be outside your comfort zone, because here there is no judgment. You can be outside your comfort zone, you make your mistake and you become better. So in another avenue, you do better. You will not have this issue anymore. So this is where you go outside your comfort zone.
And that's the starting point of all progress, getting out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Without that, you can't have any progress.
Thank you.
And Toastmaster Jiku, welcome on board. Your comments.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, actually, I'm really pleased to be here, and thank you for inducting to the Toastmasters Club. So to start with, I feel I want to improve on a lot of things, and by preparing for after each week, hopefully I can reach my goal. And having patience and working on the assignments and the projects, I wish to reach where I want to be. And I'm really pleased to be here, and thank you for welcoming me.
Thank you, Jiku. Come and give a round of applause to our new members, newly inducted members. Welcome to KEEN4 Toastmasters Club, and we are here with you through the journey. We have got 5 minutes, and in this 5 minutes, let me first go ahead and share the report of our polls. Right. So best speaker and best evaluator, obviously there was no contest. It's gone. The best speaker is GB Alex, and best evaluator is Toastmaster Steffi Sampson. The best table topics commentator award goes to our newly inducted Toastmaster Jiku John. Congratulations. And the best role player award goes to our treasurer and TM Modi, Toastmaster Bala. Congratulations all. And before we wrap up, I just wanted to give you feedback regarding moving into our physical meetings. We have been on the virtual platform for a while now, and I'm sure that we are all tired of this. We are looking forward to move out of the virtual platform, try and start a physical meeting. We are holding our reins. We have something set up already where we could move into a physical meeting, but we are holding our reins right now because our club contest we need to conduct in a virtual platform, so that it will enable our members who are participating to get used to the virtual platform contest, which would be there in the district level and the division level and the area level. So all contest is going to be virtual. So for that reason, we are going to hold moving to physical platform until we complete our club contest. And hopefully by December or latest by first week of Jan, we should move into a physical meeting. So you have something to look forward to. And I hope everyone would participate as much as possible on the club contest. I would be sending across a request to everyone. Any other comments? Is there something anyone would like to include? VPPR, I'm sorry we didn't include you during the business session. Please feel free to provide a report, any updates. Daniel?
Mr. President, nothing special.
All right. Right. So I guess for the first time, we'll wind up the meeting before time.
Yes.
With that,
Mr. President,
yes.
if I may ask, if it's obligatory by TMI to do even the club contest on virtual, doesn't really hold us from moving back to physical meeting, right? Even if we are conducting physical meetings, we can conduct the club contest through online platform. I mean, if it's possible.
Right. The club contest is going to be on November, and we have just one meeting in this month if you want to go for a physical one. And when you pretty much sign a contract, you'll have to pay Fraser Suits from that point onward. So it doesn't really make sense to start the contract before we have the club contest.
Yeah. Financially, it is not a viable solution to just have one meeting and then call for a hiatus for another 3-4 months. So until you have something that can be continued without much of a gap, I think, an option would be to get ourselves set. Everything becomes superficially normal.
We are even pondering the thought of having one meeting virtual and one meeting physical every month. Because we've got mixed reaction from our Toastmasters and who wants to go for physical and who wants to be in virtual. So to give everyone the same level of appreciation, I think we could even go for that 50%.
No, the area contests are going to be virtual.
Yes.
It is not better that we practice the same way.
Definitely. Our contest is going to be virtual for sure.
Then I think it's better to practice.
I think this.
Well, I think we lost you there.
Again, down to the ways that how much we want to get back to be on. Am I?
Yeah, we can hear, but slightly garbled.
Could you repeat, Bala?
Oh, I was just probably pointing out what VP Education stated before. It's and since we have the contest to be next year.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll discuss later. It's not very clear.
That's not clear, Bala. We will have this discussion offline.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
With that, and we have already passed the time. So with that, let me call meeting number 319 close. I adjourn the meeting. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.